Hello, this is your author Mark, coming to you with another interesting YouTube video. I know that I have been discussing sometimes on my channel the issues that affect people with disabilities and how and I did talk about certain laws that we have to change in order for here in America for people with disability to be more comparative in the job market today in the 21st century. But today I'm coming to you with a single question: why aren't there any people with disabilities in Hollywood? That means how come there's not enough people with disabilities as actors, directors, etc., etc. I mean, and a couple months ago, I was watching this Palestinian comedian. She's a Palestinian American comedian. Her name is Maysoon Zayed, and she actually brings up the good point, and I'm gonna may I say I'm gonna ask the same question as she does, that it is very difficult for people with disabilities to get jobs in Hollywood as actors, and I'm not talking about voice acting. I'm not talking about anime, like for example He-Man cartoons sort of things, like voice acting, not that, but I'm talking about how come there isn't enough people with disabilities in Hollywood, for example, that could star in action movies. Like for example, my favorite movies are with Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson. But we have the Triple X movie with what's his name, Vin Diesel and stuff like that. How come there aren't like my other one is Fast and Furious? But I watch all these movies, and they're good movies. Don't get me wrong, but here's the thing. My question is, how come there aren't enough people with disabilities being employed as actors and actresses and all that stuff? Now, for example, in 1987 we had the Star Trek: The Next Generation, and in the early to late 90s we had the Deep Space Nine. For example, Star Trek: The Next Generation had Lieutenant Geordi LaForge in the movie, and he was the chief engineer. But I don't know what happened. What happened after Deep Space Nine and Star Trek: The Next Generation? There's in my opinion, there is not enough actresses and actors with a disability. You don't see them in Hollywood movies, and I know that I am not the only one who's asking this question, because the actress and a comedian, Maysoon Zayed, who's a Palestinian American comic, she's asking the same question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next question is: we're living in the 21st century, okay, and people with disabilities need to get involved in they got to be noticed in the workplace, all those wonderful things. But also, my next question is, how come we don't even have a astronaut with disabilities? How come we didn't have we don't have astronauts with disabilities? I mean, I'm sure nowadays, because we live in the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen, then I understand that sometimes people might say that this is impossible, that being an astronaut is an impossible dream, or being an actor is an impossible dream. Maybe being a writer is an impossible dream. Look, I heard this all my life, but guess what? I managed to finish college. Although I had to make certain sacrifices in order to finish college. I did some of my military service. I basically completed a web developer certificate. So, in my opinion, I have accomplished a lot. But for example, how come? And I mean, I think nowadays, being an astronaut for people with disabilities, it's no longer an impossibility, because we have NASA, of course. We have such people as Elon Musk and his SpaceX. So, and such companies like SpaceX and NASA can be helpful in helping people with disabilities to achieve a dream of being an astronaut, for example, because that's no longer an impossibility. Now, back to the acting thing. I wrote a military adventure book called Operation Wrath of Saladin. It's still available. It is available, ladies and gentlemen, on Amazon and places like that. But I'm thinking about turning that book into a movie, where in that movie script, I was thinking that I would be good at playing myself in that, portraying the character, the one of the main characters. I would be perfect for that. Now, I want you to tell me what you think about this video, and leave a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. If you don't, give me a thumbs down, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.